Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. It says global economy headed for recession in 2023. New research. This was a video that actually came out. What's today? The 26th? Yeah, it says 26 at 12:29 p.m. Don't know how that's possible because it's 10:23 here. But regardless, this is a new article. It came out today. I believe it's the 26th. Wait, yesterday was Christmas, right? Yep, 26. It says the world faces a recession in 2023 as higher borrowing costs aimed at tackling inflation caused a number of economies to contract, according to the Center for Economics and Business Research. Now, you know, the Fed has been raising the rates, I believe, like another, was it 4%, I believe, 2 to 4%? Can't recall, but allegedly they raised interest rates to combat inflation, but that's not going to combat inflation when it's all done by design systematically. See, what they're not telling you is the fact that when they're raising interest rates, in fact, they put us, the consumer, more in debt because now the price of rent goes up, foods, everything goes up, taxes go up, and you're liable to pay these particular debts. As the scriptures say, we'll be subject into payments, but we're liable to pay these particular debts while trying to manage the cost of living, which is going to pretty much put people in an overloaded state because, you got people working 2 or fucking 3 jobs, man, working 80, 90 hours a week. Just totally unethical, just ridiculous, 50 hours a week. You got people I work with, they work no less than 50, 60 hours a week to make ends meet, because they like that overtime. But it's just the fact you're working these long 12, 13-hour shifts, man, sometimes 5 days a week. I'm like, man, you guys are good because me personally, give me my eight and escape. I'm good with that. Because I've learned how to not live beyond my means. Like certain people, they live beyond their means. They want this, they want that, and then, they want to keep up with the Joneses, and then they're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. No, man, you got to learn how to manage your finances. Know what you can afford, know what you can't afford. Money management. It's one thing about being a successful business owner is understanding how to manage money and budgeting. Okay, but America, as we know, is a consuming nation, and these people, they don't have any discipline. So therefore, the Fed slaps you with a 2 to 4% increase. Now you people getting ready to pay, as we all getting ready to pay higher prices next year. Okay, I went to the store the other day, and I usually get my meat for the deli, but even the deli meat now, they have a shorter expiration date on it. I bought some deli meat Friday, and not even 2 days later, the it's already spoiled. It smells, it's slimy, it's gummy. You know what I'm saying? And it's even with the cheeses I buy from the deli, it's just like, what the fuck? Last week, I believe the week before last week, I mentioned I came down with a slight stomach bug because of a bad probiotic I drank, but the date had 2023 on it. Now, usually in those days, it tells you on a carton, fermenting, you open up the carton 12 days later, you need to drink it within 12 days because it's still good. But this didn't specify that, because this so-called fermented milk, which has a tart taste to it because it's a probiotic, but it's supposed to be good up until another 4 months. And I drank that shit and I got sick. You see what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. So alternative means, going to the stores, etc. These things are getting ready to be far and few in between because I'm looking up some other, like some turkey meat, some chicken and stuff like that, just from the regular produce section. Lunch meat has went up to, it's $4, like $4.50, man. And this is just for a base grade, not even a high level brand. So shit, man, we're edging for a collapse. These are the same signs we seen back in 2008, 2009, okay, for the housing market and the industry, the car industry, those things, subprime lending, those particular endeavors, they failed. And we saw the hike of it. We saw it. Before you know it, the news announced we're under recession. The economy has collapsed. The housing market has collapsed. And a lot of people lost their homes when it's a foreclosures, etc. And a lot of people haven't been able to rebound since then. and it's looking the same way now. Okay, so it says the global economy surpassed 100 trillion. Okay, that's $100 trillion. Okay, just a few years ago, America was like at a 28 trillion something deficit. Now they're saying that global wise is 100 trillion, which I believe is more than that. You know, it could be more than that because honestly speaking, we're more like 400 trillion off paper just in this society alone, this country alone. So these are live made up numbers, but nonetheless, man, we're going to go with what they say. 150 trillion for the first time in 2022, but will stall in 2023 as policymakers continue their fight against soaring prices. The British consultancy said its annual World Economic League table. It says it's likely that the world economy will face a recession next year as a result in the rises of interest rates in response to higher inflation. It says the reporter added that the battle against inflation is not won yet, but we expect central bankers to stick to their guns in 2023 despite the economic costs, okay, because things are getting ready to go up, okay, rents, okay, the fucking used car industry, used cars are up. Man, matter of fact, let me go here real quick. How much is used cars up? Matter of fact, nah, that's not a good way to put it in. The price of used cars has gone up. Price of used automobiles. They said it's down 3.3%, but that's a damn lie. They're not dropping, they're actually going up. It says why used cars. It says why limited production and availability for new vehicles, private sellers and dealerships are searching for more vehicles to supplement their inventories. As demand for used vehicles grows and supply dwindles, the price of available used cars continue to rise. That's right. Okay. So the used car market is booming right now. For those of you that's car salesmen, you know, you in a particular buy here, pay here, man, this is the time to smack niggas over the head with them prices because it's a high demand for these vehicles. And the fact that we're entering this tax season once again, man, that's another burden. But the tax season, basically, man, people are getting ready to go up to these particular lots. Nigga gonna go to a lot and buy a Hellcat for $40,000 with 186,000 miles on it and pay $800 in insurance. You see what I'm saying? Stupid shit like that. You know, just to tear the motherfucker up a month later, get it repossessed for illegal gains. It's stupid, man. And this is a perfect judgment. The Most High is getting ready to starve you people out. But it says, it's likely that the world economy will face a recession. We read that already. But it says the cost of bringing inflation down to more comfortable levels is a poor growth outlook for a number of years to come. And it's not going to happen. Okay, they're not going to get shit down. Okay, because that's not the plan. The plan is to collapse the dollar to bring in this new CBDC currency. That's the whole point, to get you people in a mindset of accepting the CBDC. You see, this is why they're going up on shit. Of course, they use the war in Ukraine as bait. You know, they market that, which that has slightly to do with it. But other than that, we've been in inflation for years to come. Like, we've been in a retail recession for fucking the last 6, 7, 8 years, man. Okay, remember, before this whole so-called invasion of Ukraine, you had the retail apocalypse. You had stores closing by the thousands a year. Okay, Foot Locker's like it was a shoe store called Foot Action. One day they just up and disappeared. They was in all the malls. You had like 3 or 4 Foot Actions out here. You had one in the mall. You had one in Independence Mall. You had one at Oak Park Mall. You had one on 31st Street, I believe. You had like 3 Foot Actions out here. And all of a sudden, one day they were just gone. One day I was in Foot Locker. I was going to look at some sneakers and some gym shoes, man, and all of a sudden, I look across the hall, the fucking Foot Action gone. Because, you know, they used to pop up on the app with new releases coming out. And then all of a sudden, they wasn't there no more. You see, so it's just like, oh, shit. But that shows you they're here today, they're going tomorrow. All right? And they're doing that because they're bringing in this new system. And we're going to continue to repeat that. But it says the findings are more pessimistic than the latest forecast from the International Monetary Fund. It says, but that institution warned in October that more than a third of the world economy will contract, and there is a 25% chance of global GDP growing by less than 2% in 2023, which defines a global recession, right? And your GDP stands for gross domestic product. Okay, here in America alone, GDP has been less than 2%. Okay, with your mass growth of 35%, but you're growing at a 2% rate is not good at all. Okay, which proves that this country has been in recession for years. But they're not going to say that because they don't want to, quote unquote, scare you. Because when you start screaming recession to Americans, then they get panicky. Okay, with you people, man, you people just need to be destroyed. Honestly speaking, the Most High couldn't bring a cold enough storm to you people, man. Because you don't serve no fucking purpose. It's just you people, you're just useless eaters. You know, as long as you getting what you want, you don't give a damn about nothing. All right. Anyway, let's go into the precept here, man, because it's all through fraudulent. It's all fraudulent anyway. All right. So this is the book of Psalms 5, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 5. It says, "The foolish should not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity," man. Okay, and that's you people. Okay, you people are foolish to the eyes and to the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know, all this shit happening in the world and then you people could think about, how in the hell, why would you travel during a known ice storm, a blizzard of sub-zero below freezing temperatures? Why the fuck would you travel across country and risk something like that? You know what I did when that storm came? And it wasn't even the snow, it was the cold. I stayed my eyes in the house, man, and stayed warm. Didn't have no issues at all. You know, that shit came in. I mean, it got cold Tuesday. Wednesday was freezing. Okay, but I got out work Wednesday, and then the cold started kicking in, and then Thursday, it just hit full throttle. You know, and then Friday, I went to the store, got a couple of things, you know, literally across the street, and came my ass back home. And I ain't been out the house like that since, because what's the point? But you got people, well, I gotta travel across country. I have to make it to Debbie's house to give her these cookies she's been desiring. Fuck all that, man. Okay, and I'm going to go into that on my next lesson, too, about the pile-ups, man, the different weathers and so forth. You people was getting jacked. The Most High fucked this place up over the past week, man. And people are still going out to celebrate goddamn Christmas. Like the Lord showed you, he's not dealing with that shit. And people attempted. Didn't the Lord didn't the Lord quote in Matthew's, the 4th chapter, when Satan commanded him to throw himself down and the angel should bind thee up, lest thy foot dash against a stone? Didn't the Lord say that it is written that thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power? The hell you people have no fear. I wasn't finna tempt the Lord through that shit. I was just hoping and praying that our power didn't go, because you had certain power outages here in Kansas City. A lot of people lost power out here that was hush about. Then generators are getting attacked and grids getting attacked in Washington, you know, and all types of strange activity has been happening in the past week or so. I was just praying to the Lord, like, look, man, just don't cut the power. It's cold as shit, you know. But even then, if that did happen, we were prepared. You know, we had the necessary means to make it through the couple of days, you know, because, hey, they say get ready so you don't have to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Okay, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay, but nonetheless, man, it went perfectly smooth, man. You know, the Lord was with us, got some well rest, was chilling. I slept a lot, you know, well deserved, need a lot of rest. You know, working in the cold and just trying to wind down, you know. And the Lord gave us the double Shabbat, which kept us in anyway. So that was a mercy anyway. So we had to be out there fucking around. Perfect timing. But it says, the foolish should not stand in thy sight, and thou hatest all workers of iniquity. And thou should destroy them that speak leasing, and the Lord would abhor the bloody and deceitful men. And that's going into you Edomites, okay? You Edomites are the bloody, starting with you bankers. You bloody, because they stated that at the time of war, that's the time that when blood is in the streets, that's the time to invest. Because the elites are sitting back profiting on wars they're creating on both sides. While people are going to war, getting blown up, getting put to death, being stripped from their families, man, collapsing economies, bringing in frigid, freezing temperatures, okay, destabilizing people's energy supply so they can freeze to death in Germany, etc. The elites are sitting back, sipping a fine wine, looking at this shit, laughing and joking. Okay, but see, the joke is going to be on you in a minute, because now you're getting ready to be put in a position of being the beggar. All right, so let's go into the word leasing. And this is interesting, okay, because the word leasing goes into the Hebrew word kazab, okay, and it goes into a lie, untruth, a falsehood, a deceptive thing. So when you think of a lease, okay, like you have new vehicles, they advertise it all the time on the TV. That let's say for the 2023 Mercedes-Benz XL, right? Just make some shit up. They say, hey, upon signing this leasing agreement, you have to come down with $2,370 a lease signing. So when you signing a lease, you don't own it. The bank is lending it to you. They're lending it to you, but you don't own it. And it's all fraudulent means because they come up with these contracts and they bind you into this agreement that basically you are the one that's going to be liable for every repair. Everything that goes wrong, you're going to be liable for it. And this is the reason why they need your insurance on it so you can pay them. Even though they have insurance on it, you have to pay. Okay, leasing. And the same thing with this economy, with this monetary system, is all through fraudulent means, man. Okay. And look at this devil. It says, even so, by 2037, nah, you ain't gonna be in power that long, bro. I refuse to believe that shit. I don't think you getting out of this decade, man. I hope not. I pray to the Lord that this nigga don't make it out of 2030. I pray that we don't go to 2030, man. I'm ready to leave now. All right. I hope that 2023, and you know, things has to happen. Prophecy plays over a course of time. You know, 2023, but the way it's looking, you know, we gonna end up going through that year. We may have another one after that. But you know what? I can't. I don't see him going past 2025 or 26. I don't see it. But you know what? I've said it. We've said it before. We don't see this man going past 2020 something. But you know, the Lord is in the Lord's timing. And when we say that, we speak as men, and also the Lord said, hasten the coming. But honestly speaking, I don't give him the 2030. I just don't see it happening, man. You know, Lord's will. Come get us the fuck up out of here, man. This shit is going on long enough. All right. But it says world gross domestic product will have doubled as developing economies catch up with the richer ones. It says the shifting balance of power will see the East Asian and Pacific region account for over a third of global output by 2037, while Europe's share shrinks to less than a fifth. It says the CEBR takes its base data from the IMF's, which is International Monetary Fund, okay, World Economic Outlook, and uses an internal model to forecast growth, inflation, and exchange rates. And you know why they can do that? Because they're controlling it, man. Okay, they controlling it, the stock market, etc. They're controlling these things. The price of crude oil, you know, gas is $2.60-something. We supposed to have been out of diesel a month ago, but yet they're still operating in these things, tapping into the reserves. Why? Because they control it. Okay, now watch. By the time next year, gas is gonna slowly creep back up. Okay, the quiet before the storm. Everybody be like, oh shit, gas is $4-something, $5. Now it's down to $2-something. People are okay. We good now. Like it tells you in Edris, they should think themselves to be in good case, but even then, evil should increase. Because though gas is $2.60-something, you still got the war in Ukraine. You still got fucking China. China was baiting in Taiwan or flying. They were doing military drills over Taiwan and Japan. China, provoking them now. Okay, so $2.69 gas prices compared to World War III and things that's getting ready to happen, you can't compare to contrast it, man. Okay, you may be able to get in your car and get a few more distance, but overall, the state of the world was decaying. These new lockdowns and shit, everything is decaying. Why you jakes are talking about, well, see, you know, guys, we knew gas was going to go back down. Yeah, but it's going to go back up, too. They playing with you, you know. But it says China is now set to overtake the U.S. as the world's largest economy until 2036 at the earliest, and 6 years later than expected. But that reflects China's zero you-know-what policy and rising trade tensions with the West which have slowed its expansion. But the CEBR has originally expected to switch in 2028 when it pushed it back to 2030 and last year's league table. But now it thinks the crossover point will not happen until 2036 and may come even later if Beijing tries to control of Taiwan's and face retaliatory trade sanctions, man. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all that. The writing is on the wall. It's a done deal. You know, things are getting ready to go up. And hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, and that can be a primary catalyst for the beast hating the whore, because due to America's faulty spending, or due to their irresponsible spending over unnecessarily things and trades and so forth, you're plunging the world into a global recession, okay? And that's going to cause the other nations to really want to get at your ass even more, because it tells you that in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it says here, should not these take up a parable against him in a taunting proverb, which say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, but how long? And to him that lad himself with thick clay. Okay, now going to the word clay in the Hebrew, it goes into the Hebrew word ibayat. Okay, which means way of pledges, heavy debts. Okay, and they're saying right now they're at $100 trillion global recession. I believe that's a lie. Okay, I believe they probably at a fucking gazillion, whatever that means. I don't believe they're 100 trillion. America alone is damn near that. So the world got at least be in $500 trillion deficit range easily. Okay, and when these markets start to collapse, that's when you're going to see the introduction of the CBDC systems, which is going to lead to your MOTB. You see, it's all coming down to the head, man. All right, heavy debt, way of pledges. And it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Okay, because the nations are coming against you, man. Okay, you have uprisings, you have insurrection all over the place. People are protesting these lockdowns. People are basically saying that the climate lockdowns is BS. The C-19 lockdowns are BS. People are tired. Like when you look up China, basically that's a whole concentration camp now. They're setting up cities. They're forcing their workers into forced work labor, internment camps. You know, they can't go home. They got to stay at work until the lockdown suffice. It's crazy, and this is what they want to do in the West. So this world is in misery, man. Okay, matter of fact, let's go. I'm gonna go back to Habakkuk. Let's go to Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 28, and I'm gonna start at verses Proverbs 28 and 3. It says, a poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food, man. And Esau by nature is a real poor man. Okay, now he has the riches of the world, but he's a base man. You see, but another poor that oppresses the poor, that's like, what the hell? How the hell can you put more affliction on people than you've put on them? All right. Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Okay. And the wicked is in rulership. That's why everybody is in mourning. Every country. The animals are even in mourning. Look at the weather. It's all out of whack. The trees are dying off. There's no life. Okay. The sun is not giving its full potential. We're eating lab-grown foods, man. And you people are holding on to what life you thought you had. No, this shit is over with, man. This man is getting ready to come down for his final shebang before the Lord takes him out of here for good. And that's our hope. Everything else has failed. That's our hope. The only hope we have is for the Lord to come and destroy this man while we're going forth in our lives, man. You see? Book of James, the 5th chapter. This is the book of James 5:1. Go now to you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that should come upon you, okay? Because, hey, you Edomites, man, you elites, you're not getting away with this. You plunging the world into recession just to fulfill your belly, to set up your new world order, your left-hand kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of hell on earth. No, the Lord is getting ready to get you out of here. It says, and your riches are corrupted, and your gardens are moth-eaten, and your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them should be a witness against you, right? Because it's fraudulent means, man. This money ain't worth shit. Here we are running this rat race, trying to get to the bag, and it ain't worth anything, man. You're still going to be poor. You're still going to live paycheck after paycheck. Show me one of you people out there that have ever got rich over a job or a small-term business, okay? Even then, you know, a sales position is very lucrative. But when you're on a lower totem pole of a sales position, you don't have any schooling or any potentials behind your sales, you know, it's only so far you can go. Yeah, you get a commission here or there to make ends meet, you sustain. May appear the part, but overall, you're not eating in the top 10. You know, like Kevin Samuels was going into it. Like a lot of the women, you know, they in these particular positions at work, you know, they go to school and all this other shit. But that's a skill. Selling is a skill. Okay, now if you don't have that skill, but you're selling, that means that you're doing something else. Somebody is holding your hand or somebody is stringing you for it, or you're doing favors for somebody. Because you got a network of women now that's all into this real estate shit. Like, women don't, it's a fad now, the empowerment women business, right? It's a fad going on. A bunch of women, a bunch of black women at that, that's appearing to have this shit on lock. Oh, yeah, we business owners, we this and that. But they're all working under the Edomite. And they don't tell them what these women are. It's all a scheme at the end of the day. It's all a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. Yeah, they may see the school to get the licensing to do what you do, but overall, they put you part of a failing market. Because the real estate market in America is going to fail. It's failing now. Okay, but they have to have faces. Esau, this is what he do. He hired these women, Okay, they got cleavage showing, and then they go out and they be the face of this man's thing, and they get a sale. But he's making all the money. You see what I'm saying? It's all a scheme to keep us in darkness. You know, by all means, you know, people do what they do to make ends meet. You know, hey, do what you got to do. But you can't put your hope and trust in that, because, hey, the Lord is getting ready to close the doors on this place finally. But it says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them should be a witness against you, and should eat your flesh as with fire, and ye have heaped together treasures for the last days. Okay, we're in the last days. But behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, right? The IMF, okay, the what do you call it? The Federal Reserve. All these things are fraudulent practices, man. They're all fraudulent practices. The dollar was created to fail. It was never meant to be a permanent etiquette for you people's lives. No, it was set up to bring in a digital system. They was talking about this shit back in the early 1900s, man. Okay, this has always been on the books. The tale of 3 world wars, etc. The coming non-digital infrastructure. It just wasn't planned last year. All right. But it says, which is kept of you back by fraud, cried, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been one time, and have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. And even you condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. So therefore be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. And behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until you receive the early and latter rain. But be ye also patient, and establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. All right. So, hey, brothers, that's our hope. Now, we're not saying just give up, stop working, stop doing what you have to do. You have a little business. We're not saying that. No. Continue to take care of your families. Continue to, take care of yourselves. The ministry. Keep pushing. Occupy till the Lord come, But overall, it's going to come a time that none of this shit around us is going to matter. All right. And we're coming closely and swiftly upon those times. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And with that, shalom and above all.